Hey everybody, we back again.
We're back. We're live.
I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Dr. Nas.
There you go. And we have our special guest for today, Vic, who is our licensed clinical therapist as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice. All right, so this is the Different Spectrums podcast where we talk about movies, shows, and all the mental health aspects that surround them. We also like to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously.
Or do.
And also don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. We have a Google Drive that you can check out where we have different apps, different things, different sheets and everything like that you can take. And we'd like you to send us a tip if you can, if you actually go through our Google Drive, because Naz took a lot of time to put that together.
Just updated it. I just put a bunch of self-assessments and screeners in it yesterday. So there's even more materials.
Even better. We also have some guests coming on in June this month. So please go check them out once they are actually out and about. All right. So with that, today we are taking a look at the movie Cacaine Bear. Yeah. Cacaine Bear.
Your favorite type of bear?
Yep. The high ones.
Not Winnie. Unless he's dipping into the sauce. I don't know if it's Winnie.
No, he's a heroin addict. All right. And so today, we're going to be taking a look at the first intro scene of the movie where he chases a group of hikers. And then we go into where he's chasing an ambulance. Then we're going to go to where he's climbing trees. It's all a bear and cocaine. How are we going to talk about mental health with this? I don't know. He explained it to me. I still don't get it. But hey, we'll get there.
Spencer's on too many drugs.
Yep. Not cocaine, apparently. So, Naz, tell us what we're going to be looking at and any updates.
As he said, I've seen the number skyrocket on the Linktree for the assessments, psychoeducation, apps, and worksheets. So it's awesome to see people starting to trickle in on that. But yeah, today we're going to get into specifically automatic negative thoughts and how anxiety ramps up, but specifically the neurology on how this fight or flight or freeze response is inside of us all the time, how it kind of originated, why it's still there, and why a lot of folks have generalized anxiety disorder, and how this metaphor is one of these old school stories that I was told when I was growing up as a therapist. As a wee little lad in the graduate program, wee lad. Just a wee hobbit. Yep. So I'm excited to talk about it. Because this crazy ass story that I talk about all the time with students is now a movie. And now I can say Cacaine Bear. Yeah. So, I'm excited. Let's get into it. Let's chop it up.
Hey everyone. Before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. I just ordered their apple cider and vinegar gummies, and I'm excited to try them. If you are looking for a high-quality, all-natural health and wellness product, Bubs Naturals is a great option. The company offers a wide variety of items that are designed to improve overall health and well-being. So go check them out, and remember to use our code DSP20 when you check out. And with that, let's get into the show.
Quick, the camera, get the camera. Oh my, I've always wanted to see a bear in real life.
First humpbacks in Iceland, and now this.
We have such good luck in nature. What'd you see?
It's demented or something.
What? Can I get the camera?
Yeah.
Give me the camera. Demented?
I think we should leave it. It's something wrong with it. Come on. Shh, come on.
So cute. Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of, Christopher.
I'm not afraid. That's
Oh, sweetie, no, of course not.
Oh, fuck. Don't panic.
What do we do?
If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down.
But is it black or is it brown? I mean, it looks brown to me.
Appalachia. It's black. We have to fight it.
How do you know? You're not a bear expert.
Whatever you do, don't
Run!
Oh no! Oh no! I said don't run! Stop! Stop! Run! Come on! Come on!
What should I do?
Motherfucker!
Come back! Help us!
There's something wrong with it.
Yeah, I told you there was.
Why is it acting like this? Did you feed it cocaine?
No, but you're safe. Bears can't climb trees.
Of course they can.
Then why are you up here?
It's okay. It's okay.
Henry, climb! Henry, go!
Climb! You gotta get higher!
Go, Henry! Go! Henry, move!
Go higher!
Go! Henry, go!
Oh, God!
Oh, God. Henry!
Oh, shit!
Oh, God! Shit!
Jesus, man, I wasn't even on yet!
What the fuck is wrong with that bear?
What the hell have you got a gun for? Hey, man! Put that away! Jeez, shoot it! Shoot it! Shit, kill it! Not to treat a big fucking bear! Shut up!
Why is it chasing us? Tom, Touch, shut the fucking door!
Close the fucking door, you dumbass! Stop yelling at me! Bam, speed up!
And we are back once again.
We're back and we're live. nice and hot, like a hot Cheeto, like Vic hair today.
I like it.
I like it too. It matches
I like to
the.
switch it up every once in a while.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Cocaine and a bear. So we are taking a look at the first scene where the bear's going pretty much nuts and smacking his head against a tree and killing some hikers.
When I saw that scene,
yeah,
dude, I
we're
lost my
definitely
shit.
talking about mental health here. No excuse to watch Cocaine Bear, but all good. So, Nas, give us some perspective on this. Why this scene? Why this movie? Let's go into that.
Why this movie?
Let's say
Yeah. So I'll get into the story, and then we'll throw it into Vic to break down some other things. So there's this old story that we talk about all the time when it comes to, why do we have anxiety? Clients will come into the office. Why do I have anxiety? What purpose does this even serve us to even have this as a thing, as a manifestation within us? And one of my boss says, well, you can use this story as, back in the day, live very different lives. Nowadays, things are much easier. Jobs, you go to work. It's just a much less stressful life. But before, when you're in the woods, when you're a human out there in a not normal society, there's animals. And I was like, okay, I'm with you. And she said, when you're out there prowling around and you're farming, foraging, and all that stuff, you're going to run into some bears. And you're going to be like, holy shit, that's a bear. And your body and your mind is always going to know, like, okay, in the west side of the forest, this is not where I'm going to go because it is dangerous. I know not to go here anymore because you have that triggering response. You know that bad things can happen. I was like, okay. And your brain remembers these things because it's trying to protect you at all times. So your anxiety is usually a protection thing. It's always trying to protect you. So Vic will get into how it does protect you. So we call it generalized anxiety, this fear response, right? Because it is for protection. And as humans, our brains rarely think about like the good things that you have in life or shows gratitude or like, oh yeah, but look at all the flowers are at. You tend to forget some of the beautiful things that you see and you hyper focus on the negative things, the tumultuous things, the fearful things, the anxiety provoking, dangerous, life threatening things. Why? Because we're trying to protect ourselves. So the bear in the woods. As these days, there is no freaking bear in the woods. There is no bear in our life. Now, technically, some of you could say, maybe it's your grades, academics, letting your parents down. A lot of folks of color could say it's the neighborhood that they grew up in with violence. People could say maybe it's their parents or someone else in the family, physical, mental, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, right? So that would be the bear in your life, what causes that physiological mental response all the time. For most folks, there's no bear. But for some reason, for some of us in our biology, it's your body's going haywire all the time because your body thinks that it's in life or death, that there is a bear, that you're going to die. So some folks, students, clients are more predisposition towards generalized anxiety. It's in the family lineage. And so that's where we go with that. Is how do we work on lowering that threshold, lowering to where you understand there is no fear, there is no danger, knowing that if you go outside, and I'm not making fun of people with OCD and germophobia, but you don't need to have outside clothes and inside clothes. Like it's okay to like sit down on your bed from the clothes that you were outside or sit down on the couch. See, Vic's looking weird right now.
Frozen. He froze.
Oh.
I'm
Am I
here.
back? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Did
so
you
weird.
freeze? Who froze?
Yeah, I think
It was
it's in my
froze.
internet connection. So I saw Vic give a face. And I was like, "What's the face?" I'll edit that.
Yeah, it was in the face of your last comment.
Yeah. So you have outside clothes and inside clothes?
I have a thing like I took the kids to the track before we came home, and we were like Lily did like some runway jumps in the long jump pit. She would never come home and sit her ass down on the bed. Like, go to your room and get in the shower, like immediately. Like outside, like no, I just can't. And it's like a thing. Like I don't know if this is a Black people thing, but when You've been outside and you come in the house, you smell like outside. That's the thing.
I agree with that.
And some people don't believe in that, but that's the thing. It's like, you smell like outside. Go clean up.
I also think there's a gender thing in there too, because I think like a lot of dudes like we'll work out, full blown sweat, and they're like we'll be laying all over our couch.
Ugh.
Yep. That's a thing too. I know it is, but I've got a lot of clients that the germs, it's like a legit fear response, where they literally feel like they're going to die. I've got multiple humans that I work with, and if someone else sits in their chair, complete like they're just hanging out, if someone sits in their stuff, they will literally dig into their body with their nails and like, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And then they're like contemplating making sure not to hurt that individual or themselves because they are in such fear of what is happening to their item and the contamination of it. So I'm going a step further. So there's yours where you're like, okay, yeah, you legit smell like trash. Yeah. And then there's like a step further where this fear response is obviously astronomically illogical.
Overkill. Yeah.
And so that's where I use this all the time. And so now with this analogy, I'll talk about, they ain't no bear in here. We're good. Like life is good. You're in college. You're fine. You're not in this house there where the stuff was going on. But this fear response, this fucking bear is not coming after you. Right? There ain't no cocaine out here. And I feel like a lot of students won't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say the cocaine. But like this movie now gives me privilege to say it. This was done. So that's my spiel. I can't wait to tell my boss about this. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? The bear with cocaine. Like, you've seen it, right? No.
Cacaine Bear, right?
Yes. No, her old ass ain't watching this. Vic, what was your initial thoughts and about anxiety or about what this bear can represent and why?
So what I initially wrote down was people who have anxiety. Typically, it's a control issue. It's like you have anxiety because you're trying to anticipate or you want something to happen in a sequence of events. And when it doesn't happen, you're like, oh shit, I'm freaking out. This didn't happen. The role planned in my mind. So now I'm having this physiological body response because nothing's going like it should be or ought to be going. So over time, when that happens to you repeatedly, or if you're hardwired, or if it's like genetically, passed down to you, you're always in this flight or flight response, and you're always like in a heightened response mode. Like I have to, I have to control certain things, or certain things don't happen, so therefore, I'm having a panic attack. So increased heart rate, sweating, palpitations. You're always excessively worrying about stuff that is outside of your control. So with people that I've worked with in the past as far as therapy, it's like, okay, so how can we work on controlling things within our means? And then how can we prepare for things that may not happen or go as planned? But over time, that stuff leads to like heart attack, heart disease, stroke. It's just not healthy to always be in that heightened state. And then you start to see that you're in a heightened state for like the smallest things. That one example I like to use in therapy is someone cuts you off in traffic. You get all upset and now you're just heightened
Raging.
up, you're just like pissed off. And it's like that person continued driving forward. They probably don't even know they cut you off or they did, and they don't give a fuck. But now you're sitting there and you're in rage mode and you're just like cussing them out and I want to do this and do that. And it's like, why are you doing all that? Like, if we can control how we react to things that don't go our way, then we can have better outcomes. So I think people who suffer from anxiety, it's like, okay, so what are some things that we can work on? What are some things that we can control? And how do we leave room for growth?
What was that thing you told me? What was the thing you told me earlier about the response?
What did I say?
There's
Was it
three
the
of
fear
them.
response?
No, oh yes, the fear response.
Fight, fright, or freeze.
There we go.
So with that being said, we have individuals So say you are in a situation where you have to defend yourself, like someone's going to beat you up or a bear's going to attack you. You're either going to freeze and do nothing and be attacked, or you're going to fight. And there's studies out there that show people, jumping out at them, and they're either like attacking that person because that's their natural response, or they freeze and they're like, oh shit. So it just kind of depends on who you are as an individual. Like, are you going to fight or are you going to freeze? And it's, I kind of wrote down as survival of the fittest. So obviously, people who have a lot of anxiety, they're always gauging situations like, is this going to be safe? Can I do this? Or should I sit this one out? So it comes down to survival.
Yep.
But like you said, we're not living in the woods, but there's, still things that we have to be keen to out in the world.
There's still stuff you got to be cautious of. The other thing is flee. So there's fight where you're going to fight back. There's freeze, and then there's where you're just going to take off running. So there's three of them.
I'll be running.
Yeah, you'd probably be running. Actually, this is, and then we're going to get into cortisol and like some other science in a second. But and none of you, I will always say this: none of us actually know how we're going to respond in any single moment when we're shown a bear or the bear in our life in that moment. I've had people always say, like, I'm a fighter, I'm gonna fight back. I'm like, you don't know that. Or I would just dip out and run. Like, you don't know. You might be like legit in shock, frozen, where your mind is like, girl, get the fuck out of here, run. And you just can't. I've worked with many individuals that have been in gun violence, fights, and right there, they say, I got it. I'm gonna be good. I'm fine. And then they freeze and they fall down, and then right, appropriate. But they're like, oh, why didn't I fight back? Why didn't I try to protect others? Well, you're fucking terrified. You don't control anything at that moment in time. This is a SA trigger warning, sexual assault trigger warning. I've had it where individuals, both genders, have told me, like, I'm ashamed that I didn't do something. Because I'm a badass and I will, like, legit. I've had some people that are legit feisty as shit, will fight you, and have, like, verbally fought me on many things. And they frozen, and they couldn't believe that they froze in the moment. You just don't know. I've been put in situations, held at gunpoint, held at knife point, and sometimes you freeze, sometimes you try to de-escalate things. And I remember one time when a bunch of family members were there, and I don't think I've talked about it on the pod, where I just, like, I have to take action because we're all going to die. Someone has to do something. Kid turned around, boop, and I finished business, and everyone ran away. And thankfully, everyone was safe. But it was fucking nuts, and that lived in my brain for years after that. In that moment, I found out that I was a fighter, but in most moments, I found out that I was a fighter. I've also known I've been in car accidents and been completely frozen and cannot even move or speak. So you just don't know how you're going to respond. My father will coincide that, who's been through a lot of traumatic experiences. You just don't know. So for those of you that are in these situations and you think that you know how you react, be kind to yourself if it doesn't go the way you think it was supposed to go or the way you should have acted. You're really not in control of that. Most of us. Now, if you're like prepped for all that shit, there's a difference. Like, if you're prepped for military and war and for all this battle, then technically it's not a physiological automatic response at that time. Now you're prepped and habituated to it. You know what's coming. If me, Spence, and Vicky know we're going into battle, into war, we already know that we're about to fight. And thus, we should be ready to execute. If you just get thrown into some game or tournament, you're probably going to freeze and walk the fuck out. Because, like, what the fuck? It's like when you get into class and you get a test and you're like, what the hell is this? I'm going to go ahead and SpongeBob me my ass out of here. So, yep. So this is why I want to get some examples. I'll start with Spence first, and then we'll go round robin to Vic. Any examples of fight or flight that you can remember? Fight, flight, or flee. You're just like, I'm out. I'm about to volatilely or like protect myself or others. Or were you just like legit froze? Could be anything, a car accident. It could have been just someone yelling at you and you froze, right? Who knows what it was? Could have been a
I'd
sports
probably
thing.
just say there's a time I go to like every year, go to my cabin, things like that. And a few years ago, it used to be like all my like cousins and stuff would go. And one time it was me, my mom, we went out on a canoe, and then it was my cousin and somebody else was in another canoe. And like they were trying to race us and things like that. And then they like, I don't know, I kept getting like hit in the face with water, and then we flipped the canoe. Then the canoe flipped, and then I don't know, I guess I just kind of went into shock. I didn't really say anything. All I knew was to like just swim to shore, which wasn't really, it was kind of close, but it wasn't really. But yeah, I wasn't even talking or anything like that. It was just like dead silence. Luckily I didn't drown. But
you swam to shore.
You know, yeah. Okay. And so my mom was like, Spencer, and I just wasn't responding at all. Just couldn't talk.
Zoned out.
Just couldn't say anything. That's probably one of the closest things I've had to that. I mean, I probably had other situations where I was probably like, oop, I'm gonna walk away from this because I'm not trying to get into it with people. Try my best not to fight unless I really have to. So it's really trying to pick situations. And that's usually my brain saying that, just like pick the situations to walk away. And that's like my immediate reaction is walking away, usually. Not really just freezing. So
what about engaging? Just so a fight doesn't have to just mean fighting someone off. Sometimes it could just mean like physical engagement. So has it ever happened to you in sports where you've frozen? Or does it normally no. I'm pretty cool and habituated to that. I just execute.
Yeah, usually I'm usually ready for any type of like it, because I have like I know the motions of doing something, but if my mind isn't into it, it's more of like I'm not executing it to the standard that I'm used to. So that's kind of more of it. Like if my mind's not in the game, then I'm going through the motions, but I'm not really like in the moment. And so that's been kind of like, especially with sports, that's been my perspective.
And so Vic, kind of the same type of example. Do you have any examples of it? And then also in sports, was there ever any of that freeze response? But before we get into the sports, any examples that you want to give of fight, flight, or freeze that you're okay with sharing?
I got a couple. So, with sports related, during like winter break or Christmas break, however you want to define it, our coach would always give us workouts. And so probably out of the 5 years I spent at Western, I would go to my dad's in Minnesota, and I'm like, fuck, I got to do my workout. And so I'm like, as long as I got all my extremities covered, I can get a good workout and I can go for a run, you know? So one day I went running in this park in Plymouth, and it's like on the trail, but it's the park all in one. And I stopped because it was a big ass deer in the middle of the trail. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, yep, not today. And I turned my black ass around. I ran back. I'm like, I'm not about to get attacked by a deer. It's not worth it. I'll just turn around. It kind of stopped and looked at me like, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna turn around. This is your territory. I'm just a visitor. I'm a guest. So that was one situation.
Instant shock and then run. Yep.
Yeah. My first experience at a swimming pool, or just swimming in general, we lived in Fort Hood, Texas, and my dad took me and two of my cousins, and I was sitting on the edge of the pool. I had to be like 4 or 5. Once again, no swimming experience. I somehow slid in, and I just remember my dad yanking me up, but I just remember not reacting or doing anything. Like I froze, and I didn't know what to do. And I guess someone was like, "Hey, like that kid over there is like drowning, or help her." And I just remember him yanking me up out the water, and I was just like, "All right,
Jesus.
I don't want to go swimming ever again." So to this day, I'm not a strong swimmer, and I think it's because of that first
Yep.
experience. Like I have anxiety, not going to be swallowed or engulfed by the water. So that's something I'm working on every year, is getting more comfortable with water.
I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah.
I gave up on that shit. If I can't stand up in it, like I'm done. I'm and I used to
No,
love swimming, homie. But now like I'm like super muscles and dense, and like I literally just sink and my shoulders hurt just
that's
from
what I've
trying to
always been
paddle.
told. They're like, "You're just all muscle." I'm like,
Yeah,
there's little kids that weigh less than me and have less body fat, and they're swimming. I'm like, how can I not?
bro,
So
my arms aren't strong enough to be paddling, bro. It's before I forget, I had an experience like Spence where we went tubing, me and Salim. And Salim's cool.
mm,
Like, I'm a big boy, so if my big ass falls out the tube, I can't get in the goddamn tube. Like it is like everything to get into the tube, and then you gotta swaddle around, and shit was crazy. So I fall out the damn tube, and I shit you not, I thought I was dead. Like I legit thought I was
mm.
dead, and I'm not even fighting like Spence trying to swim. I never even thought to like swim to the shore, because like we're going pretty fast, and I remember the rocks were hitting me from underneath because you're going down the river, so they were just hitting me. I was fucking terrified. My boy Joe that Spence met, because we went with him, he said, "Dude, I looked into your eyes," and he's like, "I knew you were fucking freaking out." I thought I was dead. That shit is no joke, man. That water stuff, terrifying. So freeze. And I'm using these bigger examples to get to something in a second, but usually a fighter, usually you like respond to things. In that situation, completely froze. I didn't know what to do. Never been exposed to it. I'm sure as hell not about to swim, because I seen that in the movie. That ain't working. Jaws come out and get your ass.
Oh my god! What type of water were you guys in?
You're in the ocean? What are you talking about?
This cocaine
Yeah.
shark. Cocaine shark.
Oh my god!
That's actually
With
the
rocks?
next movie sequel.
I know,
Oh,
that's what I
goodness.
heard. Yeah, there's just no way. In athletics, Vic, any of the freeze response? I assume you're a runner, so maybe not.
I was actually just talking to one of my teammates today that works at Western, but we both qualified for nationals in 2010. That was hosted by the Ducks in Oregon, and I ended up qualifying the 400, and they put me in lane one. And when you get to nationals, like it's a whole nother ball game. Like they have the speakers on your starting blocks, everything's timed, all that. And I never get nervous before a race, but I'm like getting set in my blocks, like getting in my lane, and out of nowhere, like this nervousness and fear came over my body, and I was like, "Fuck, this is not the right time. This is not the right time." Gun goes off. Everyone takes off. I feel like I'm chasing everybody because everything's staggered, and you're running in this large stadium where you have thousands of people, which that doesn't bother me. But I was just like, I don't know, like I freaked out, and I was just like, really? The whole fucking season? I got the whole fucking season. The meet that matters the most, I fuck up, and I ended up running like the 55, and I was just like, really? Really? You came all the way here and ran the 55? So,
Shit happens.
I mean, as an athlete, you have good days, you have bad days.
Yep.
I think I finished 14th or 24th in the nation that year. So I still made it there in an
you still
individual
did
event
good.
as opposed to a relay, but it's still like, damn, like, oh, this is my chance to shine, and I fucked it up.
Yeah, you pooped the bed.
Yeah, I did.
Yep. I mean, after that, you got on PD, so like everything was good.
Yeah. Well, I redshirted that following year because I had a injury.
You
Yep.
just said you were on steroids, but it's fine.
I just said PDs.
No,
you
I
know
definitely
what
wasn't.
Okay,
I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying.
what that means.
Oh,
If you said roids, if you would said roids, I'd be like, no, definitely not. But no, I've never done that.
So she doesn't know what PDs. Yeah, she doesn't know what PDs is, Spencer. But she's like an Olympic athlete.
Yeah, I don't know what any of this is.
Just like I don't have a full stick of cocaine shoved in my butt.
Is. Yeah. What do you mean?
What?
I never take any syringes. What?
No, I hate needles.
Yeah.
Well,
but never.
Erythropoietin. So
Nope.
No one said you didn't like PEDs, so
Yeah. She's like, she didn't deny that she didn't use them. She's like, yeah,
I did
I did
I don't
not.
like needles. It's
she's like,
They
they
tested
didn't
us
even
all the
test.
time.
Do you take pills?
Yeah,
They're
they
pills
did.
now.
Let
Yeah.
me tell you something. Heroin addicts don't like needles either, but they gotta do what they gotta do. Okay.
I mean, Spence is spitting facts.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Jesus fucking Christ. Here's a funny story about athletics, and then we're gonna transition back over to clients. Offensive line. And I know when the play is. It's on 1, it's on 2, it's on silent, it's on hut, it's on blue, whatever it is. I know what the count is. My ass would jump offsides literally all the time because I'm not paying attention to the quarterback. I'm ready to
False
hit.
start?
And
No,
so
I'm
as soon as I hear something, false start. So I never had a get off. My last 2 years of playing high school football and college football, you're on the practice squad, so no one fucking cares. Yeah, because like they're just pummeling the shit out of you, all the seniors, and like, yeah, it was literally horrible. I had concussion first practice, different story for a different day. They're like, yeah, you're fine. Go back out there, idiot. So I trained myself to not go until the other players went. So if you watch film for me in my senior year, you will see me late start a half a second before everyone else on the line. Because I was so in my head that I was going to jump off sides. So now I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to wait. And then that actually did bring peace. I can work on my form, my technique. But I'm always so ready to chomp at the bit that as soon as I heard anything, boom, I go.
You've been good at track then.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we probably would have been good at track. We were slow as dirt, but
They'll get there.
right?
They'll get
Yeah, I'm one of them. No, I'm not even going to go there. It's going to go somewhere
No,
real
say
bad.
it.
No, I wasn't going that track. I was going somewhere else. You know, I'm a fast one.
God. Oh, God.
bling bling.
You have to work on that.
Bam, I'm done. Yeah, I'm always just ready to go. I'm always just ready to pounce. And also if someone takes me out of the zone, what? So I get real jumpy. Celine gets real jumpy because I get hyper fixated and locked in on things. And so other things surround me sometimes freak me out. So as we relate this to clients, these are like normal things to be fidgety about, to be anxious about. Obviously, these aren't super tragic and terrifying. Well, some of the drowning ones obviously are. But they're not bears. They're not something running into you that's going to threaten and kill you. Now, if you would have saw something more ferocious than like a deer, so maybe it was a fucking terrifying deer. I don't know. But then that cocaine bear analogy makes sense. But in our day-to-day lives, we don't face those. I haven't faced any bears in the last couple months.
I haven't ever.
Yeah, only in the clubs.
Yeah, well, I was told by a student I was one. So
There you go.
there you go. But yeah, like no metaphorical bears. Like I've had nothing impending doom-wise in years. And I've been blessed. I'm completely blessed about that. That nothing has been like life-threatening, terrifying me. Just small things. Small little inconveniences. Today I had a hiccup, a heart flutter. I was supposed to do a presentation with the Indianapolis Colts today that Spence knew about. And I'm like, oh yeah, my boy rescheduled it and he put it on today instead of Thursday. I'm like, okay. Say, hey man, send me the Zoom link. Say, what the hell you mean Zoom link? I said, yeah, the Zoom link for the thing. We got the meeting today. He's like, you're supposed to be here in person, dog. What you talking about?
Oh.
I thought you rescheduled it to where it was via Zoom. He's like, no, we were working at home on Thursday. You're supposed to be in person today with your brother. I was like, well, that's not happening. Because I'm at work. And my colleague said, no, I'm already freaking the fuck out because I don't like letting people down. It's my high school running back too. This is a big honor to do. My homegirl's like, just leave. You'll be there in an hour. You've got like an hour and 10 minutes. I'm like, no. Because I'm going to be gunning it. Going 100 miles an hour in 55s, and I'm going to fucking crash the car. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So I was cool with it. He sent me a Zoom link. We still did the thing, and everything went fine. But I was like legit freaking out. I think the last actually legitimately terrifying thing where I could not sleep and focus is when I had to take my clinical exam during COVID. And if I failed that, I would have to stay at St. Mary's in Winona, and I wouldn't get the job promotion at Purdue, which was like 30 grand. That. And then I went and met Spence after that, and we had Arabic food as a celebration. That was horrific. But think about it. It's really not a bear. It's not life or death. I mean, it's 30 grand. So as I transition this back to clients, you know, some of us, we're all knuckleheads, man. You always think this thing is chasing you. The anxieties, the fears, the worries, the shames, your parents, the people below you that are getting B's and you're getting A's, or you're getting C's and you're worried about people with D's, and you're always worried about class and status. And those are the bears that we face, not this fucking thing chasing us in the ambulance that's going to kill us. So as Vic said, how do we come down from that? How do we strategically work on the steps to maybe what Spence was saying, where it's more of a process in sports? And Vic is saying, you ain't even really got to be checked in sometimes. Your body will just go through the motions and you're kind of good. And I've seen Spence too when we play. Like sometimes he's going through the motions and then someone will piss him off, and then it's like, Daddy didn't come to play. Good, he didn't come to play now.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
I used to have a friend, Spence, you would have loved him, in Grand Rapids. His name wasn't even Joe. His name was Robert. But I would always start screaming ISO Joe because he would ISO the shit out of people. And the other people would get mad at me for saying that he was going to shit on them. And then they would start roughing him up. And then he would shit on them.
Yeah. Yeah, you talk some shit when we play ball anytime. Like, I'm just like making, he's like, yeah, that's right. Fuck y'all. Like, Jesus.
If Spence makes a shot, anyone on my team makes a shot, I am talking straight cash. And Spence is like, dog, you need to chill.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to get fucking my
Like, I'm not trying to get killed.
because I'm making shots.
Yeah. And he was your wife. And he said you couldn't read good.
No one says I can't read good.
Yeah. And he said your cocaine was subpar. What? Jesus. All right. Let me look at the master list. Vic, what do you know about this thing we call the we're gonna do a little bit of science. A little science time. A little Bill Nye to science time. I like that. Nice response from both of you. You both feel like you're a piece of shit. Shut up. I'm like, okay.
No, it's mainly because you stumbled on Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill. What do you know about this thing called the amygdala? Have you heard of this thing?
Yeah, once upon a time ago. Is it like decision making?
No, so this is the part of our brain. It's kind of like in the midbrain.
Really tiny? No, I'm thinking of the
that's it.
pineal gland.
Oh, okay, that's even smaller. But this is the amygdala. It's the fear response. So when you're in those fight or flight modes, that's the thing that activates. And then, I definitely know you know about this, the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Have you heard of those things?
Mm-hmm.
So folks, those of you that are in physiology, anatomy, you're going to start hearing about this. Any science-related classes, psychology classes, you will hear about this. So that nervous system will skyrocket. As Vic was saying earlier, you grow up habituated to these things, these stressors, economic issues, racial issues, insecurity issues in anything, abuse issues. You said it leads to stroke, heart attack, early, adverse child adverse issues. It's because you're leading to a shit ton of cortisol. So your body pumps out this thing called cortisol, and it pumps out a ton of it because it's getting you ready to use muscle and energy and ATP very fast, very fast. It starts the sympathetic nervous system because you got to go, you got to fight. Right? And so all of us have had adrenaline before in a game, in a situation when we've been yelled at, someone pisses us off, cuts us off. Heart starts racing. You start sweating. Well, you start sweating because your body's trying to cool you down. It's trying to cool down your core temperature. Your heart starts beating really fast because it's pumping all the blood,
more blood
to the major organs.
Shuts down digestive, stomach, all that stuff. It's like, oh, we don't need those right now.
Correct. That's why you're not supposed to eat too much before you exercise, because your heart is pumping all the blood to the major muscles that you're using. People report the numbness or tingling in their hands or the cold sensation. It's because the blood is leaving that area, and thus it's getting cold because all the warmth and blood is going to the chest, the breathing, cardiovascular, into your legs, to your core, right? It's getting you ready to run or fight. Also, your brain. So you're going to get really, really tired after having these sympathetic nervous system issues or fear response issues because your brain's literally chomping through glucose at that time. So people are like, I'm exhausted after being mad. I'm like, yeah, I wonder why. You literally just shot.
I'm hangry.
Yeah, you're hangry. You just shot your whole wad of emotions. Like, you're done. Was it good for you? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. It never is. That's it. Sympathetic nervous system, folks. So there's ways to get you to calm down with this. And I know all of you are going to hate this that are listening. But it's breathing. It's the deep breathing shit. Everyone hates it. And I get it. You hate it. I get it. Taking a couple deep breaths, holding them. It's going to lower your blood pressure, lower your heart rate, and thus you will be calmer. Well, Nas, that shit don't work for me. Sit down.
Because you've only done it once or twice. It's like, it's got to be repetitive behavior. It's got to be part of your routine.
Let's do it the real way, though. Let's do it the real way. Let me show you some shit real quick. Let me have you drop your shoulders. Let me have you breathe the correct way, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 4 seconds. Pause at the top. Let out. Get the chest big. Expand the stomach, right? And then get small. They're like, oh, yeah, I feel a lot better. Yeah, because you're doing the shit right now.
I know.
So there's that. There's temperature regulation. There's many other things that we've been over in many pods. As me and Spence talked about anxiety and panic attacks in TED, episode 1 of a 3-part podcast. We went over all the symptomologies. There's ways to back it down. The breathing is going to be one of your go-tos in those moments. For a lot of neurodivergent folks, it's going to be grounding to lay on the floor or against a hard surface. Also, it's going to be a cooler surface. If you are wobbly like me, lay down. Just fucking lay down. If you were like me at Disney World with Spencer and Salim, and we went on that fucking rocket, that rocket ship thing, I don't remember what it was. The G forces, and I got seasick.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one was
motion
bad.
sickness.
Both of you are fucking like ready to throw up,
bro. And I was like also having an anxiety attack because how embarrassing is that to throw up somewhere? I was choking it down. Sorry, folks. I was choking it down the puke, like while I was on the fucking ride, because I'm like, yeah, it was horrible.
I mean, I was close too. I was over there.
Did you throw up on anyone?
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you get a little sick from that too?
Oh yeah, that shit was fucking terrible. Because if you look away for even like a split second, it messes with your just
equilibrium.
Your whole, that's why they say in the beginning they're like, look straight at the screen, don't look away, because you will get sick.
That was horrific.
Like, oh
yeah.
Yeah,
like, that was probably the worst that I've gotten. And when we did the Velocicoaster, like that was like, I hated that shit, but it was way better than the G-Force because that just fucking spins you around so fast.
It literally just spins you around, and I literally
feel like you're leaving the atmosphere and like
in a rocket.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I had the same type of feeling like I'm going to die, like I was like drowning in the tubing thing. And we walked out, and we had to sit there, and Spencer's just like sitting there with us. We sat there probably for an hour.
Oh yeah,
damn.
I had motion sickness for the rest of the trip, and it was intense. I had to lay down. I had to buy some shit.
Also, it didn't help that it was like really tight space. Like it was like right in front of your face, tight, and so
claustrophobic. That was me freaking out, and so I had to sit down, lay down, drink a ton of water. It was intense. Again, though, it's not a bear, but yet it had a physiological response of me being attacked by this metaphorical bear. Me being chased down and thinking that I'm going to die. Just fucking amazing on how anxiety can make you think these irrational things. And it's so hard as a therapist to get people to change their mind and values that what they're wrong and I'm right. They're like, how are you going to tell me? How are you going to tell me I'm the one that's been living with this? I'm still safe. So you're going to tell me if I do this thing, then you said it's not going to kill me, and I do it, you're going to promise me that I'm not going to die. Well, I'm not going to promise you that you're not going to die. Well, they said, well, why wouldn't you promise me? Well, because you could fucking die. I mean, it's true though, Vic. Right? I can't promise them. I mean,
never make promises.
Yeah. So it's a weird situation with anxiety, homies. My go-tos, consulting with people, getting grounded. So that's usually pops immediately. Colin Spence, immediately. I got to consult, go through some shit, back down. And then it's laying down. It's drinking cold drinks and a cold shower. So I like cold temperatures. Those are things that regulate me. I don't know about y'all. Do you have certain things that can take you down, or when you're gone, Vic, your brain's gone?
Music. Music to, if I can listen to music depending on the situation. I hate being cold, so going outside, I like the heat. I can't do cold. I hate cold. I hate being cold.
But maybe if you were having an anxiety attack or freaking out, then the cold would be so jarring and shocking that it would reset you.
Then I'm shivering.
I'm going
through a different physiological response that I didn't really want.
Yeah, but you're not dying.
Right. True.
I just saved your life. You didn't even know it. I'm telling you. I'll charge you for this. I'll charge you later. You can DM me later.
Okay.
Spence, yours is music too, right? As one of the go-tos?
Yeah, music, and then just like physical activity too. Sometimes, like even when I'm like in a mode where I don't want to get up or do anything, like even just standing up and walking and things like that, that really helps. Because then I can kind of get my mind off of like what I'm thinking. And I can just kind of focus on like a physical activity instead. That usually helps me. But yeah, music usually helps. It all depends, because sometimes I'm just not in the mood to hear anything or even watch anything. I just kind of want to sit there and just not do anything. So
it's a vibe.
Yeah.
So everyone, what we're talking about is distraction. So distraction can regulate you and calm you down. For those of the folks that have lived a lifetime of what Tiff said is anxiety, that cortisol can ramp it through you, and you're going to be having these big emotional responses through any trigger. I was talking to a human. I said, so your roommate did something like your mom's would do. You good? She said, yeah, I'm good. And I said, you sure? And she said, yeah. I said, I see you didn't go full on like cocaine mode where like you were going to kill her. But I'm surprised, because if that was mom's, you would have deregulated and then just lost your shit. I said, you should take that as a win that homegirl didn't trigger you enough. And she said, well, Nas, why you spend so much time on this? I said, you're a woman of color. You will be kicked out of this institution so fast. So fast. Because you will be seen as aggressive. And you're not like these other kids. Because, right, we got a lot of folks of color on campus, but they're what we call the acceptable minorities. You one of the good ones. You one of the Asian ones, Indian ones, right? One of them Latino black ones now you're dangerous. Now it has derogatory terms associated with it. And that and yet in itself is traumatic and traumatizing, because you have to code switch. And I hate that I have to have these conversations with people, but I have to make sure that their fear response doesn't kick in. That way they don't get kicked out of this country. They don't get kicked out of school. They don't get, shot and killed. I just can't have that. We can't have that. You came too far to get this college degree to have a setback because someone's messing with you. But that fear response, hard to control it.
And that's something to say for people of color. I feel like we're always code switching. we're code switching so that we can survive to see another day, or to keep our jobs, or to not be seen as being physically aggressive. So it does serve a purpose, but this shit gets tiring. It's like, damn, I'm always in prep mode. When I walk out my door, it gets tired, very tiring.
We were talking about that today with the Colts at the football team, and one of the black clinicians, black woman, she was like, "This shit is hard, extremely hard." And right, I'm thinking the whole time about neurodivergent folks that do code switching and mirroring to an extreme extent, because everything is computerized, and statistically it shows high anxiety, high depression, and suicidality. And so black folks, brown folks, other identities, queer folks, it's intense. You have to hide. Why? Because the bear is, if people find you out or they see something that they don't like, they will hurt you financially, academically, politically. You will be demonized, which is terrifying. I think my biggest fear, technically now, my bear would be being financially ruined, like that guy. What movie is that from again? You said, Spence? The Tiger guy? Tiger King?
Oh, Tiger King?
I'll never financially recover from this.
I will never financially recover.
That would be my bear.
What a guy.
Yeah. Any other things that you would like to tie up, Vic?
Planning, maybe some cognitive reframing. As you touched on, like irrational beliefs, maybe challenging some of those things. Like, all right, am I gonna die if this doesn't go this way, or is this like is this a rational fear that I should have, or what should be irrational and what should be rational fears? Maybe exploring those things in therapy, like, okay, what should I really be concerned and worried about here? And this kind of, challenging some of those thoughts, like, okay, maybe I could change the way I think. So then if I'm ever put in a similar situation or a triggering event, I'm not reacting the same way or having the same physiological response.
It's a much more moderated and tolerable response. So, right, this is not therapy, folks. The link tree and the stuff that I have in there is not therapy. We're just going through stuff, examples, thoughts, case conceptualizations with other clients that we worked with. I do have free worksheets that are available. Right? They are not mine. They are from other places in the interweb. But if you go down to the worksheets on the link tree, though it is segregated for anxiety, depression, relationships. Click on that. There will be an automatic native thought worksheet on there where you can go through it step by step. What is the thoughts? What are the beliefs? What are the emotions? If this horrible thing I think that's going to come true, what's the worst case scenario? Is it actually valid and could it actually happen? What are some words or thoughts that you can do to refute it? And then it keeps going and going and going until you're into maintenance. So it's therapy in a can. I would check out some of the resources in there. There's going to be a lot of apps in there as well. We're going to start using all these things as a pod to like legit help folks. So what Vic said, cognitively reframe your thoughts, then maybe we can reshape some belief and some actions, and we can get you to stop freaking out. Freaking. Yes. Spence, you got any final thoughts? Anything to add about just anxiety, preparation, self-help?
Don't give cocaine to a bear. No. There it is. There's this cocaine in a
Jar.
container.
In a container. This is a lot. This is probably like $1 million worth of cocaine here.
Damn. You never have to work again.
I know.
Yep. Pure cocaine.
I'm going to drive this back to Michigan so I can meet Vicky. And she can.
Oh my God.
Will this help you run in the Olympics? I don't know.
I am so out of shape, but this is prime age. This is prime age, 33, 34.
There you go.
Trainer.
Spence.
Not in NBA years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we'll
That's
Spence
ancient.
can help us find the needles. I've got the cocaine, and we're gonna make you an
Oh
athlete.
my God.
Yeah, we're just having a party.
We're gonna put you
Just
together
kidding,
like
folks.
Yep.
We're not doing drugs.
We're
nope,
not.
Can't do.
we're gonna put her
No.
together like Rocket Raccoon, and too soon. Sorry, trauma response.
And with that, thank you everybody for tuning in today. Go check out, like Nas said, go check out the Google Doc that's in the link tree. Go check out our merch. We have tons of it. It's great. And go look at Bub's Naturals. They have a ton of health and wellness products that you can get, and use our code DSP20 and you will get 20% off your entire order. So
Let's do
go
it.
check that out. Yeah, that'd be great. So thank you
Sports
everybody
Illustrated.
for watching.
Sorry, Sports Illustrated. It's like good stuff. That sounded so weird. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you Vicky for coming on.
Thank you,
And-
guys.
Yes, I'm Spencer. That's Nazir. This is the Different Spectrums podcast. Bye.
Bye. This is how the kids do it. They swoop it up.
I think it's like 5 years old, but it's all right.
All right, whatever. Well, I swooped it up.